In a quiet village called Umuoka, there lived two beautiful sisters. Their names were Ada and Amoka. Ada was the older one. She was calm, gentle, and kind. Everyone in the village loved her. She greeted elders with respect, helped the poor, and never raised her voice at anyone. Amoka, the younger sister, was also very beautiful, even more beautiful than Ada. But her heart was full of pride. She looked down on everyone. She insulted their housemates and told people she was too beautiful to walk. She loved to dress in expensive clothes and take selfies all day. Their parents were rich, and Amoka loved to waste money on things she didn't need. While Ada used her time to learn skills, bake, and sew beautiful clothes, Amoka did nothing but gossip and scroll on her phone. Ada opened a fashion shop in town and became very successful. People from other villages came to buy from her. Her business grew, and she became famous for her good heart and beautiful work. One evening, something happened that changed everything. A black jeep stopped in front of their house. A tall, handsome man came out. He wore a clean white kaftan and dark glasses. His name was Chaik. He was rich, well-known, and owned many houses in the city. But he was not from Umuoka. He had heard of Ada from his friend who once visited the village. Chaik walked straight into their compound and greeted their father politely. "I came to ask for Ada's hand in marriage," he said. Everyone in the family was surprised. Chaik was every woman's dream. He was gentle, rich, and handsome. Amoka stared at him like she had seen a spirit. That was the type of man she had been dreaming about. And now, he wanted Ada. That night, Amoka could not sleep. How can this man come for Ada and not me, she thought. She looked at herself in the mirror. Her skin was glowing. Her makeup was perfect. "I must get him," she whispered. From that day, Amoka began her secret plan. The day Ada and Chaik were supposed to go out for lunch, Amoka came out wearing a short red dress. "Where are you going dressed like that?" Ada asked. "Oh, just a small party," Amoka smiled. But that was a lie. She had followed Chaik to the restaurant in another car. When she got there, she waited outside. When Ada went to the bathroom, Amoka walked up to Chaik. "Oh, you're the famous Chaik. I've heard so much about you," she said, smiling sweetly. Chaik was shocked. "You must be Ada's sister." "Yes. I'm Amoka. And I think you deserve better," she whispered. She placed her hand on his shoulder and smiled. Chaik looked confused but didn't say anything. Amoka walked away like nothing happened. But something had started. Something dangerous. In the days that followed, Amoka made sure to be where Chaik was. She dressed in clothes that showed her beauty and always tried to catch his attention. At first, Chaik ignored her. But soon, he began to smile back. He started replying to her text messages and even laughed at her jokes. Ada noticed that Chaik was acting strange. He no longer called like before. He always had excuses. One day, he told her he was too busy to see her. Ada felt sad but said nothing. Her heart was strong. She didn't know that her own sister was the reason. Amoka became bold. One evening, she wore a silky dress and sprayed Chaik's favorite perfume. She waited outside his hotel. When he came out, she walked up to him. "Let's go for a drink." "Just one," she said. Chaik hesitated but agreed. They sat together in a quiet lounge. Amoka laughed loudly and touched his hand many times. "I know you like me," she said. "Don't lie." Chaik looked into her eyes. "You're very bold," he said. "And you like it," Amoka whispered. That night, they didn't go home early. Ada waited for Chaik's call. Nothing came. The next week, Chaik came to their house again. But this time, he was holding Amoka's hand. Their parents were shocked. Ada stood like a statue. I have changed my mind, Chike said. I want to marry Amoka. Tears rolled down Ada's face, but she didn't say a word. She looked at Amoka. Amoka didn't even look sorry. I got what I want, she said later in her room, smiling to herself. But she had no idea what pain was coming. The wedding between Chike and Amoka was the talk of the village. Big cars came from the city. Music filled the air. Amoka wore a sparkling white gown that shone like the morning sun. She walked with pride, her smile wide and bright. But Ada sat quietly in her room, holding back tears. The pain in her chest was heavy. Her sister had taken the man she loved. Yet, she said nothing. Not one word of hate. She just kept praying for peace in her heart. After the wedding, Amoka moved into Chike's mansion in the city. It was a big house with many rooms, shiny floors, and golden curtains. Chike gave her everything. New clothes. Expensive shoes. Bags from Paris. Even a brand new car. Amoka laughed every day. She posted pictures online and made sure Ada saw them. She wanted Ada to feel jealous. But Ada only smiled when she saw them. She had already let go. 1 month passed. Then 2. Then 3. Chike started coming home late. Amoka waited, but he never called. One night, he came back smelling of alcohol and perfume. Where have you been? She asked. I'm not a child, he snapped. Don't question me. Amoka's mouth dropped open. That was the first time he shouted at her. The next morning, he dropped a bag of money on the table. Buy something nice, he said without looking at her. Amoka smiled. The money made her forget what happened the night before. But the shouting didn't stop. It became worse. One evening, Chike pushed Amoka during an argument. She hit her arm on the wall. You're hurting me, she screamed. Good. Learn to behave, he growled and walked out. Amoka sat on the floor, crying. The house no longer felt like a home. She picked up her phone and tried to call her mother, but changed her mind. She didn't want them to know what was happening. Still, she continued to show off online. She didn't want people to see her pain. Back in Umuoka, Ede continued with her business. One day, a man came to her shop. His name was Obina. He was tall, soft-spoken, and had eyes that showed care. He bought many clothes from Ada. He came again and again. One day, he waited until the shop was empty. I admire your strength, he said. I've seen how you smile even when you're hurting. Ada looked at him, surprised. You don't have to hide. You deserve better, he added gently. For the first time in many months, Ede felt warmth in her heart. Meanwhile, in the city, Chike's secrets were being revealed. He was not just a businessman. He was working with dangerous people. Police had been watching him for a long time. One morning, Amoka woke up to loud bangs on the gate. Open up. Police. She ran outside in her nightgown. Chike was handcuffed in front of her. His cars were taken. His accounts were frozen. The house was locked down. Madam, you can't stay here, the officer said. Amoka stood in shock. Everything she had was gone. Her life was crashing like broken glass. She returned to her parents' house with just a small bag. No car. No fancy clothes. No makeup. Nothing. People whispered as she passed. Some even laughed. Ada saw her coming and opened the door wide. She hugged her sister. You're still welcome, Ada said softly. Amoka cried like a baby. I'm sorry, she whispered. I thought I won. But I lost everything. Ada didn't say, I told you so. She just held her sister tighter. Obina kept coming to see Ada. He helped her expand her shop, bought her a generator, and even gave her a piece of land. Months later, he knelt before her with a ring. "Will you marry me?" Tears filled Ada's eyes. This time, they were tears of joy. The wedding was beautiful. Simple, but full of love. Ada wore a golden dress with beads in her hair. Obinna held her like a treasure. Their house was filled with laughter, music, and warmth. Soon, they had 2 lovely children, a boy and a girl. They lived a peaceful, happy life. Amoka sat under the mango tree one afternoon, watching Ada and her children play. She smiled, but it was a sad smile. That life could have been hers. But she had chosen beauty and pride over love and patience. She now understood what Ada had always known. That good character lasts longer than beauty. The sun was high above Umuoka village. The sky was clear, and birds flew freely, singing sweet songs. But Amoka's heart was not free. She sat alone in the backyard, wearing an old wrapper. Her skin had lost its glow. Her eyes looked tired. Her beauty had faded with time and pain. It had been 2 years since Chike's arrest. He was still in prison. She had visited once, but he didn't even look at her. He was angry, broken, and full of regret himself. The money was gone. The house was taken. Everything was lost. Amoka had applied for jobs in the city, but no one wanted to hire the wife of a known drug dealer. Her name was stained. In the village, some people avoided her. Others mocked her behind her back. She wanted Big Man. Now Big Man is in prison, they laughed. But the worst part was not their laughter. It was the silence from those she once looked down on. Amoka thought about how she used to walk through the village with her head high, wearing shiny clothes and loud perfume. She remembered how she used to laugh when people begged her for help. Now, she was the one begging. Her heart ached. One day, while walking to the stream with an old bucket, Amoka slipped and fell into the muddy water. Her wrapper tore. Her knees were bleeding. She sat there and cried. Suddenly, someone lifted her up. It was Ada. "Sister, let me help you," Ada said gently. Amoka couldn't hold back the tears. She wept loudly. "I don't deserve your kindness," she said. "You're still my sister," Ada replied. "And as long as I'm alive, you'll never walk alone." Ada brought her home, washed her wounds, and gave her clean clothes. Obinna made her a warm bowl of yam porridge with scent leaves and dry fish. "You're welcome here," he said kindly. That night, Amoka sat with Ada and watched the children play. Ada's daughter, little Ifioma, ran to Amoka and hugged her leg. "Auntie Amoka, tell me a story," the girl said with a laugh. Amoka smiled. For the first time in many months, she felt something she had lost, peace. The next day, Ada invited Amoka to join her at the shop. She gave her small tasks, folding clothes, arranging fabric, helping customers. At first, the villagers stared. But Ada stood beside her. "She is helping me now," Ada told them. "She has changed." Slowly, the gossip stopped. Some women began to greet her again. Amoka was learning what it meant to work, to serve, to be humble. And something strange happened, she started enjoying it. One Sunday, during church service, the pastor preached about forgiveness and second chances. "Sometimes, God humbles us so we can find our true self," he said. Amoka wept quietly at the back of the church. After service, she walked to the altar. "I want to give my life to Christ," she said. The congregation clapped. But Ada was crying. Happy tears. After church, Eddie gave her a big hug. "You are free now," she whispered. Months passed. Amoka began teaching young girls in the village how to sew. She told them her story. She warned them not to choose men because of money and looks. Character is better than charm, she said. She became a voice of wisdom, a woman changed by fire. One day, a man named Namdi came from the city. He had heard about Amoka's sewing classes. He met her and smiled. I want to sponsor your fashion school, he said. You've turned your pain into purpose. Amoka stared at him, shocked. Why me? She asked. Because you've changed. And people like you deserve another chance. She looked up to the sky. Tears rolled down again, but this time, they were full of light. Amoka opened a new center for young girls. She called it Ada's Heart. It was her way of honoring her sister, the one who showed love when others turned away. She became a new person. Simple, humble, wise. Though she never married again, she found joy in helping others. She found peace in God. And she became a woman of value, not because of beauty, but because of who she had become. One evening, as the sun set and the sky turned orange, Amoka stood with Ada on the veranda. You are the best sister in the world, she said. Ada smiled. You just needed to find your light. And together, they watched the stars rise. From enemies to sisters again. From pain to peace. From pride to purpose. Amoka had lost what she thought she wanted. But in the end, she gained what truly mattered. A heart full of light. The lesson to be learned from this story is that true happiness comes from kindness and good character, not from wealth or beauty. Jealousy and pride can lead to pain and loss, while humility and forgiveness bring healing and second chances. Forgiveness and love can restore broken relationships and turn past mistakes into purpose. I hope you enjoyed the story. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share. I will see you in my next video. Bye.